YouTube land, how are you? This is Jacob from Wager Me This. Jacob from Wager Me This. Y'all want to see my dog? I'll show you my dog. I don't think I've ever. I know you guys have seen him on videos. I don't think you've ever just seen him. All right, so we're walking around the Colorado School of Mines because I live right across the street from the college. That's my puppy down there. So hi, Charlie. Charlie. He's half St. Bernard, half Border Collie. So he's big, but he's a good dog. Really smart. Anyway, so let's talk about Sunday. Right, this is a good Sunday. It's week 2, right? We choose hard. Overreactions. But we got lucky. We got lucky this week too. This week too got really lucky because we got sorry, I had to pull him back. He was pulling too hard. We got really lucky, and we got a rookie going against Belichick. Rookie quarterback going against Belichick. So everyone knows that trend. He's crushed rookie quarterbacks in his career as a head coach. So that's nice. Todd, my buddy, what's up, Todd? And the second thing we really just got going for us is that we got one of the best defenses in the league going against the worst team in the league. And that's Denver against Jacksonville. So early games, the 2 early games, they're probably the best picks on the board, right? Sunday's coming, Sunday. So those are nice plays right there. Just based off a trend and, talent. I don't even have to dig very deep for that one. So one of the things, one of the trends we saw last week, right? So last week, it went 12-4 to the underdog. I don't know if y'all know that. 12-4 to the points last week. I think it's 13-4 now with the Giants game. So to the points, I might be one game off there. But anyways, the points really paid off last week. If you would have just went across the board, took all the winner, big time winner, 75%. So that's a trend early in the year. So 2 things usually happen early in the year. Now, guys, you got to remember, they're calculating this off the final line. So off the final line, this is where they calculate those off of. So some of them, example, the 49ers covered if you got the early line, and they didn't cover if you got the late line. So some of them are kind of like half, right? So if you got it early, you covered. If you got it late, you lost. So that's why when you see a team that's really overmatched to another team, you should usually try to get them early because that spread's probably going to go up. And that's what happened in that San Francisco game. All the big money jumped on it. And so all the average Joes that got there late got crushed when Detroit made that ridiculous comeback. But so what games this week would fit that bill? There's actually not very many, right? There's actually not very many that fit that bill this week, all right? Where week 1 was very evenly matched, right? You only had a few really just upside down ones, all right? The rest of them were like really evenly matched teams. This week, it's not so much the same. We have 3 spreads that are over 10. 3 spreads that are over 10 points this week. So there's a trend in the NFL too about spreads over 10 points. I can't remember. They only cover like 20% of the time or something. It's not good. It's not close when spreads are over 10 points in the NFL. But, it kind of depends though too. It's very situational. Usually, a road team getting 10 points is probably a lot less likely to cover than a home team getting 10 points. But I don't think you find that situation very often. But guys, it's just like some of these situations. So like one of the games is the Cleveland and Tennessee, or not Tennessee, the Cleveland and Houston game. So Houston's got to go up to Cleveland. And Cleveland's giving them like 13 points or 12.5 points or some crazy number. And I think Cleveland's going to cover that. I think Houston, people are going to get starry eyes, and there's going to be a bunch of people take all those points with Houston. But They beat Jacksonville. It wasn't, their win is not value. There's no value to that win. And so I just wonder, how many people are going to get crushed on that, because I actually think that Cleveland is going to come out with a big old chip on their shoulder, because they had the AFC champs on the ropes and couldn't put them away. All right, so I think Cleveland's going to run the score up on the Titans, or the Texans. Sorry. I think they are. I think Cleveland's going to score the most points this week out of any team, I think. So if you have bets like that or something, I think it's Cleveland. I think they're just going to run it up. So I don't know. There's a lot of really odd games this week. So we have some competitive games though, right? Like Dallas and the Chargers, that's going to be competitive. At least it looks like it, right? At least that looks like that's going to be a really competitive football game. So, and I think a sneaky competitive game is the Raiders in Pittsburgh, right? That could be competitive. I don't know if it will, but it could be. You know, if the Raiders get out to an early lead in that one, it'll get competitive. If the Pittsburgh defense dominates, I think the Raiders will get just kind of handled like Buffalo did if they let that defense get too much momentum. You can't let that Pittsburgh defense get a hold of you, because then they just stomp on you, because that's what they do in Pittsburgh. So, but yeah, I think that one could be really competitive. I don't know that, man, these lights are crazy right here. But I don't know. It's one of those deals too where Carr could throw 3 interceptions in that game too. So, I mean, but the spread definitely reflects it's probably right. It's at 6 or 6.5. That's probably right. But, yeah, it's a crazy deal there. Good week. It's week 2. Man, week 2 is always so hard. There's so much crash in week 2. So one of the things, and I've said this a few times now, one of the things I do week 2 is I go back to week 1. Did I like that team in week 1? If I did, generally I like them in week 2. All right, so teams that I didn't like in week 1, I generally don't like in week 2. So, now that's not always the case, but you know, like, so if what I'm getting at is, I'll use Miami. I didn't like Miami in week 1, and guys, Miami got beat on the football field. They won on the scoreboard. So, I don't like them this week either. I don't think Miami's a very talented football team, and I know they got this. They kind of almost got like an underdog feel to them for people, I think. But I think people are mistaking underdog for being bad. All right? Tua's a bad quarterback. You can't make a case that he's a good quarterback in the NFL. His statistics don't reflect it. His win-losses don't reflect it. Touchdowns to interceptions don't really reflect it. Yards per game don't reflect it. Like, nothing about Tua says he's good, but yet people have this high hopes for him, like he's going to be. I feel like people want him to be like the next Josh Allen or the next Dak Prescott. Well, those two guys have something that Tua does not have, and that's accuracy. They can throw it to where they're aiming. Tua doesn't really do that. He also doesn't throw the ball very much. Mac Jones definitely outplayed Tua. And if you guys are watching, you don't believe Mac Jones outplayed Tua, go rewatch that highlight. It is not close. It is not close. And again, you know, Mac Jones lost on his running back fumbling the ball. They were lining up for a field goal in the next couple plays for the win. So Mac Jones should be 1-0. Tua should probably be 0-1. But the high hoping Dolphins people, Dolphins fans are high hopers. All right, so you always got high hoper fans, right? The fans that think that their team is always all right. We're ready. We're gonna do it this year. Well, Dolphins are those guys. Anyways, guys, I'm about to go back in my house. I'll talk to y'all later.